Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Crafting Saturday at Dandelion Cottage. Today I'm going to be working in my Scrapbustin Journal, and I'm flipping to the main Centerfold, which is here, and I've already got this started. And what I'm going to share with you today is decorating the inside of the centerfold. So I've created a little pocket that I'm going to show you how to make. There's going to be one on both sides. And then I'm going to do a little bit of stenciling on the pages to dress them up a little bit. So thank you so much for joining with me today. I'm Leslie Watkins, and I'm going to show you how to make something beautiful. So let me just check my settings and make sure that you can hear and see me all right. And that looks good. That looks like it's working. Good morning, Kelly. Nice to see you here. So for those of you who are new, I've been working on this journal. This is the Scrapbustin Journal, and in the last workshop I showed you how to make this. And we've got a whole crew of people busy making their journals. And by the way, for those of you who have been working on your journals, don't forget that tomorrow is the prize for whoever has put their journals up into the Facebook group so that we can see them. And there's going to be, I'm going to enter everybody's name onto a picker wheel, and then I'm going to let the wheel fly and we'll see who the winner is, and you're going to be getting a special surprise in the mail from me. So stay tuned for that, and make sure that you get your entries in before midnight tomorrow. Now, if you're not in the journal workshop, there's going to be a second one coming right up, and that's going to be how to decorate your journals. And it's going to include a Zoom where we can see and talk with one another and share ideas and plenty of inspiration. There'll be a video tutorial, as always, and a kit. And that's going to be coming right up. And the way you get more information about that is by going to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and make sure you get signed up for notes from Dandelion Cottage. I will also be putting that link below in the description after the video is done today. But you want to make sure that you're subscribed to notes from Dandelion Cottage, because that's how you find out about all of the upcoming workshops, classes, and events. Now for today, what I've done is I've taken some retired DSP. So this is from an older collection that I absolutely love. I've been saving it for a long time, and I thought it'd be perfect in here. So what I did was I took two 12 by 12 sheets of paper, and I cut them down to size, and with the scrap that was left over, I created this little tuck. And what I did was I went around the edge with some zigzag stitching to help strengthen that. I think you can see, well, maybe you can see it. Anyway, there is some beautiful zigzag stitching along this edge to make it a little bit stronger. Then I glued it to the flap, and then I went around the entire rectangle with my zigzag stitches and pasted it in, and that gave me two identical flaps on either side. And then I had these leftover pieces, so I'm just keeping them tucked in for now, because you know, you don't have to, not everything has to be completely finished as soon as you do it. Sometimes you just want to have something started so you can think about it a little bit and see what you might want to do. And sometimes it's very nice to have some blank areas and blank pages in your journal so that you can do some writing, add photos, or just, wait for the inspiration to hit. Now, in this case, I wanted to add a little bit more decoration in the background. So I've pulled out some different sets here, and I'm going to show you those in just a second. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all, but I thought that they might be appropriate. I've got the new Watercolor World, which is this wonderful, great big stamp. So it looks like that. I've got this retired set called Wherever You Go, and I love this compass on here, and I thought that this radiating star or sunburst could be useful. And then I've also got these sentiments from Stepping Stones, and I love this one, Follow Your Own Star. So I thought I might be using that. I'm going to do some tone-on-tone stamping. And so for that, I have Bumblebee, because that was the coordinating color with the DSP here, and I want to start with this sunburst. I'm just going to mount that up. I also have Crushed Curry out just in case, because the Crushed Curry color is very, very close to the Bumblebee, and so I have that handy. I'm going to do a little test stamp here, make sure that looks good. And I want this to be right on the top. Well, it came out not so good. I'm not doing my best stamping with the camera in front of me here. Let me see how I do on this side. A little bit better. Not great, but that's okay because we're going to add a lot more to this. So now I'm going to take my compass. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, so don't beat yourself up if it doesn't come out just the way you want it. Just add some creativity and it'll be just fine. I'm going to go around the edges a little bit here. Not everything is going to show, but just for a little extra pattern. Get down in this corner. And do the same on this side. Okay. Now I've also got some stencils. So let's see, these are called the Plenty of Patterns Decorative Masks. And that's a little too flowery. Hold on a second. This is the one I think I want. This is called Basic Patterns, yeah. Lots and lots of different designs to choose from, but I'm looking, what I like is this one. So I'm going to go ahead and use my blending brush. Going to get that in the ink. Line this up. I'm just going to add a little extra. Now a lot of this isn't going to show. A lot of this is going to be underneath my pocket, but I just want a hint of design. I'm going to go ahead and put some over here and let that kind of fade off. Same on this side. You don't have to make a mirror image, but I just felt that because this was in the center of my journal, that it would be nice to have it look a little more formal. And again, just let that fade off. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I want it to be a little bit darker over here. And I'm going to get my sentiment out. So follow your star. Get that mounted up on the block. Okay, and then I want it just on one side, so I'm going to put it right across the top here. Give that a test first, see how that looks. Oh, see, good thing I tested, it's the wrong one. I pulled out an obstacle is often a stepping stone. Well, that may be true, but that's not the sentiment I'm looking for right now. So let me put that away. Here we go, it's this one. There we go. Okay. And make sure I've got this right side up. There we go, perfect. Okay, so that is the background. So that didn't take long. Just using some stencils and a couple of stamps, I was able to create a little more interest in the background, so it wasn't just the plain DSP. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my pockets. And they're going to go on there something like that. So let me show you how I made this. I've got a piece of cardstock here, and this measures 5 by 4.5, and I want to make sure I have this oriented in the right direction. Okay, so it's going to be wider than it is taller. So next what I need to do is I need to make my flaps, and they're going to be 1/2 inch wide. So using my scoring blade, I'm going to go on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. So I have something that looks like this. Let me score this one again. That didn't come out. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and give that a good burnishing. Okay, so I think today is going to be a day of mistakes. So let's do that again. All right, sorry folks. Let's start at the beginning. I'm getting another piece of cardstock out. I'm going to measure more carefully. So this is going to be 5 by 4.5. Score on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. It's only paper. Okay, so I have something that looks like this. I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to remove the bottom corners like that. And I'm going to take just a little bit of an angle cut here. Next, I have these dies called the Stylish Shapes dies, and these are wonderful for creating windows. And I'm going to use this largest square one. Pop that into the cut and emboss machine. Make sure I've got that lined up. Looks pretty good. What's particularly nice about this set of dies is that they have this beautiful detailing. So what happens is you get the kind of stitching or little dots on both the window aperture as well as the shape that you're cutting out. So I'm going to save this for something else. This will be very useful. I have my little stash envelope here that I'll put in my scrap busting bucket. Next, I'm going to take my tear and tape adhesive and I'm just going to stick that down on 4 sides around my opening. Where'd the end go? There it is. Burnish that down really well. And remove the backing. Okay, now this tab is going to be at the bottom of my pocket. So I've got a scrap from my maps left over and I want it to be facing in this direction. Get that lined up. So there's my map insert in the center of my pocket. Now I also want to put a little thumb notch here. So I'm going to go ahead and find my center and put a little mark. And for this I'm using a 1 1/4 inch circle punch, but I want to be sure that this side matches the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up. So I can see how far to go here. So there are my two pockets. I'm going to add my tear and tape onto my flaps. You could use your liquid glue for this also. I'm using the tear and tape just because I have it out, and the paper that I was, this decorative series paper has a heat embossed, what's it called? Gold foil specialty paper. And so it's not very absorbent, and it's a lot easier to use the tear and tape if something's not going to absorb the liquid glue right away. But the liquid glue will work, you just have to give it a little more time to set up. Okay, again, burnishing. In the Decorating Your Scrapbusting Journal class, you will get a PDF with all the measurements and full instructions on how to make these window pockets, various flips, folds, and flaps, and other items that are in the journal. And you'll also be able to see all of the wonderful things that the other designers and paper crafters are creating for their journals. So it's going to be jam-packed, filled with all kinds of creativity, inspiration, and ideas. And you'll also see the complete flip through of my journal when it's finished. So if that sounds interesting to you, remember to subscribe to Notes so that you can find out more about it, how to register, when it's happening. Okay, so let's get these in the journal now. Zoom you out a little bit. Make a little bit of room here. So there's the spread. And I want to get these centered and straight on the page. That wasn't too straight. I didn't press it down all the way, I just kind of touched it down. That's better. Okay, now I want to line it up on the other side. we go. So now we've got two little pockets. I've got these side flaps, and I've got these extra pieces of the DSP, which I may or may not use for tags. We'll see how that goes. And then here, I've got room for another tag, which I will save for another day. So there is my Centerfold spread with this beautiful, gorgeous Decorator Series paper. I didn't want to cover that up. It's just too pretty. And there it is. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope I've given you some ideas. I'd love to see what you do. If you're following along and you'd like to share your designs, there's two places to post them. You can either put them in Dandelion Paper Pals, which is a group for people that follow the projects that I do here live 3 times a week, or you can put it in Something New, what is it? No, Something Old, Something New. And in that Facebook group, the Stampin' Up! Demonstrators are using retired and new product so that nothing goes to waste. I'll be back on Monday for Marvelous Monday. Remember to subscribe to Notes from Dandelion Cottage Design so that you can be notified of the upcoming classes, workshops, and events, and I will see you next time. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative.